Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over the Fortnite Winter Royale Tournament, and specifically why so many pros are wrong with their very harsh criticism of the event. For those of you guys unaware, the Winter Royale is a $1 million prize pool tournament that I'm almost 100% sure is the first ever official Fortnite tournament where all of the competing players will be selected solely based on performance in online qualifiers. By the time you guys see this, the Winter Royale online qualifiers for both EU and NA will be completed, and the top 200 finishers from both regions will move on to the finals, which are currently scheduled for November 31st and December 1st for EU, and then December 11th and December 12th for NA. Now, obviously, having an online-only qualifier for a $1 million event is a very risky ordeal, and it was a controversial decision in the Fortnite community from the very beginning. And as the qualifiers were going on, a lot of well-known pro players were very outspoken against either certain aspects of the Winter Royale qualifiers or even just the tournament as a whole. And although at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, now that I've seen these qualifiers play out, I think even though a few of their complaints were definitely valid, but at the same time, a lot of them definitely weren't. So throughout this video, we're going to get into why exactly I feel that way, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so the first two tweets I want to bring up here are both from Morgas or Morgasi. I never remember how to pronounce that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know who this is because he is a very well-known pro Fortnite player. Now, I do want to note that unlike all of the other examples in this video, these tweets came before the qualifiers actually began. So I want this to be the first thing we go over because it really highlights one of the main concerns a lot of pro players had leading up to the event. He first tweeted, "Can't wait to see 90% console players qualify for Winter Royale because of how the qualifiers are based off of how many points in a set time period instead of a number of matches." And then he quickly followed that up with another tweet saying, "To qualify, console players, generally speaking, land mostly tilted and are used to fragging out. Because the most efficient way to get points in the qualifiers is to get 7 kills and eliminate yourself and do it again, console players will outclass PC players in this sense." Now, first off, in response to this, I think it's kind of unnecessary for him to just take a random shot towards console players here, but I'll ignore that and more so focus on the rest of his argument. His main concern, and like I said, this was a common concern leading up to the qualifiers, was that the best way to get points was going to be ignoring placement and solely going for kills. And to be fair, this wasn't exactly a baseless accusation. For a lot of the in-game practice tournaments that Fortnite has on a weekly basis, landing tilted, getting a few kills for points, and then killing yourself is kind of a meta strategy to get a high amount of points. However, this really wasn't the case in the Winter Royale qualifiers at all, and I'm honestly surprised that a lot of people expected it to be. As I've mentioned multiple times so far in this video, this tournament has a total prize pool of $1 million. Why is that so important? Well, it basically means that pretty much every pro level, or even wannabe pro Fortnite player is gonna not only play most or all of these qualifiers, but also focus 100% on the game and try as hard as they absolutely can. And when you pair that with a very strict and accurate skill-based matchmaking system, which only pairs you with players who have almost exactly the same amount of points as you, once you get past about 12 or 15 points, every lobby is pretty much a pro scrim at that point. That really wasn't the case in any of the in-game tournaments that were used as practice, because that's exactly what they were for. Practice only, no money on the line, and therefore not many pro players participated. If they wanted to practice, they just played in the Pro Scrim Discord. And here's another tweet from another pro player named Razaro that kinda builds on what Morgas said. This tweet came after the first round of qualifiers where a player named Stream Skite finished in first place with 42 points. points. Razaro says, yeah, Skite is an insane W key player. I'm not. I go for placement, but placement is useless. Now, calling someone a W key player is pretty much an insult suggesting that they play, well, stupidly aggressive. Let's just put it like that. Now, if you know Razaro, he's a guy that's really a straight shooter. He doesn't hold back at all and basically says exactly what he's thinking. But in this case, he is 100% wrong. As I mentioned, once you get past about 15 points in these qualifiers, every game is basically a pro scrim. And when I say that, that's not an exaggeration at all. Seriously, if you get 15 points within like the first hour and a half, you'll queue for a game and literally see Vivid thank the bus driver, Poach thank the bus driver, 72 hours thank the bus driver. It's just absolutely insane to see. In lobbies like that, you're plain and simple not going to be able to live off of kill points only. The way you get points once you get in that 15 to 30 range is placement. If you can get 3 kills or maybe even pop off and get 5 kills for a bonus point or 2, that's great, but your number one priority while playing is almost always going to be placement. And the final pro that we're going to discuss that was very vocally against the Winter Royale qualifiers is tfue. And he did not hold back in his criticism at all. Here's an exact quote from his stream during his time playing the qualifiers. I hate pub tournaments, bro. I hate pub-stomping tournaments with all my soul. I'm not enjoying this at all. I hate this. Hopefully next session I get good points and then I can just be done forever because I actually hate this with all my soul. And you guys know how much I love tfue, but with the incredibly accurate and precise skill-based matchmaking of these qualifiers, calling it a pub tournament or a pub-stomping tournament is just totally untrue. I mean, I guess it's somewhat similar to pubs under 5 or so points, but other than that, absolutely not. Based on what I saw while watching him stream, his frustration was more so due to the new gameplay adjustments in the Winter Royale. I made a full video discussing these about a week ago, but just as a quick update, I think that the 500, 500, 500 mat cap, faster farming rate, and 50 health/shield per enemy killed actually ended up working out really well. It eliminated a decent amount of endgame turtling, rewarded players who were able to manage their materials well, and provided a really solid guaranteed reward for getting eliminations. Now, I will say this, one very legitimate complaint about a fully online-based qualifier is the undeniable presence of hackers who play games with things like aimbot. We were just talking about tfue, and maybe some of those negative feelings he had were due to the fact that he died to a player with aimbot during a very important game in one of his qualifying sessions. And apparently that same guy killed a few other well-known pros around the same time as he killed tfue. It's definitely incredibly concerning to see that, and the issue with that isn't even the possibility that the aimbotters will be able to make the actual tournament, because they 100% won't. I saw a lot of concern about that online. So many people in the community were like, oh my god, this guy who's hacking is going to end up stealing someone in the top 200 spot. That's so horrible. Well, the truth is, Epic will definitely end up banning the guy who killed tfue and anybody else who used aimbot during the tournament. But what those hackers do is they end up ruining the qualifiers for the people that they kill. The aimbotter that killed tfue did it in a game where he had 25 points, and it was towards the very end where he was in prime position to pick up another 3 to 5 points, which is just absolutely major. That hacker killing him there could easily end up being the reason why he doesn't qualify, and I'm sure that's the case for a few other well-known pro players as well. I know Epic has some kind of anti-cheating software embedded into their game that should be able to pick stuff like that up instantly, but if people can get around it, then it really ruins the possibility of any future online qualifiers. And I really hope that doesn't end up being the case. You saw it firsthand in the Winter Royale qualifiers why online only is such an awesome thing. Look at a guy like Stream Stike, who I personally had never heard of before this event, but he goes out, plays insanely well, and now is getting a ton of recognition for his insane Fortnite skill. And he actually had about 5,000 viewers in his stream today watching him play. Online qualifiers gives everybody a fair chance. You don't have to have clout or be signed by some organization to compete with the absolute best of the best, and that's awesome, and it should be a fundamental principle of any competitive online video game. Now, I'm not delusional. Online qualifiers definitely do have flaws that in-person qualifiers or popularity-based qualifiers don't. Such examples include the cheating we just went over, some of the insanely long queue times once you reach a certain point value, and the fact that the qualifying times can be inconvenient for certain players around the world. But in my opinion, some of those negatives are simply unavoidable, and ultimately, I think the positives end up outweighing the negatives. I really enjoyed both playing and watching the Winter Skirmish qualifiers, and I think that the finals are going to be even more enjoyable to watch. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. What did you guys think about the Winter Royale qualifiers? I'm sure most of you guys either played them yourselves or at the very least watched some of your favorite YouTubers or streamers play them, so I want to know what you thought. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.